What's up, everybody? My name is Wanizi and I put the dub in Wotaku. So today's video is actually going to be a fun one. So this video is going to be a little interesting. Yesterday, while I was scrolling on Twitter, I found this statement by the CEO of Arc Systems, the people who make Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue. The CEO stated that they wanted to make more games similar to Dragon Ball FighterZ with IPs that are popular in the West. So I decided, what fighting games would I love to see with some of my favorite animes? Now, in the tweet, they talk about Naruto, so Naruto is off the list because Naruto was already given to us. So here's my list of 5 animes that I would love to see fighting games for. So the way I devised this list is, 1, is the anime popular enough on this side that people in America would buy it? And 2, if the anime would be good in an Arc Systems game. You know, the similar 3v3 or the 1v1 side scroller with the meter and the burst and the flashy moves and all that. I think that all the animes on this list fit those criteria, so we're just going to jump right into it. So at the number 5 spot, it's actually a tie. So while I was making this list, originally it was going to be Fate Stay. So let's talk about why Fate Stay is on this list. Fate Stay has an enormous roster. The roster is unbelievably big. It is expansive. Every single Fate Stay series has like 13 different characters in it. Some of the masters can be fighters. Some of the summons can be fighters. There's so many people to choose from that the roster would be insane in an Arc Systems game. On top of that, a lot of these characters have really interesting weapons and really interesting abilities, making them very, very intricate and making the roster very diverse as well. The reason that this is tied for 5th place is because the anime that is tied with is way more popular on this side than Fate is. And the other person taking up the 5th spot is Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, if you don't know how to say it, is one of my favorite animes. Truly a gem. I really enjoyed the anime. The only reason that this didn't beat out Fate Stay is because I feel like the Fate Stay roster is just so expansive. But let's not get it twisted. Hunter x Hunter has a lot of interesting characters, had a lot of interesting powers. The roster would be very diverse as well. I think a Hunter x Hunter game would be amazing. I think it's one of the animes that doesn't get enough love in the video game space. Playing as Killua and Gon, like, it would just be very interesting to see. I think that the Arc Systems could really make this game super good, and I hope they're listening. Please, Arc Systems, give us a Hunter x Hunter game we never had. So moving on to 4th place, we have One Piece. We all know One Piece. Everybody, I feel like at this point, knows One Piece. I've at least seen an episode, at least seen 2. One Piece is an amazing anime with, again, a very big roster of characters with very different abilities. When you have 1,000 episodes, you can only have a big list of people to choose from. I think this game is very deserving. It's very overdue. I feel like we haven't seen the Arc System style anime fighter of a One Piece game. They're always arena fighters or Dynasty Warrior-esque games. It's even gotten into the turn-based genre, so I feel like we're very long overdue for a One Piece fighter. The only reason it's somewhat low on this list is just because, like I said before with Hunter x Hunter, some of the character abilities are so intricate and interesting that I know that Luffy would translate well, Zoro, Sanji, a lot of the main characters would translate well, but I just don't know how the side characters or other characters would really translate into the space. I'm sure it will be fine. Arc System does amazing work, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. But when I thought of the One Piece game, I was like, I don't know. It would be really good and I think it would work well, but I can't say with all of my heart that it's going to be an amazing, like, perfect game. But please, we need the One Piece fighter, man. We need the One Piece fighter. We need the regular size 2D fighter. We need that. So these next 2 games have actually had 2D fighters that, in my opinion, were amazing. But coming in at the number 3 spot, we have Bleach. If you owned a Nintendo DS and you were tapped into the Nintendo DS marketplace and all the games on that marketplace, you knew that Bleach had one game that was insanely fun. Was it balanced? I don't remember it being balanced. Was it good? Debatable. But they did have a 2D fighter where you could play as the captains, and that is why we need the Bleach 2D fighter. Please, we need the Bleach 2D fighter. Bleach has so many characters in that anime that are always ready to fight. The Bleach roster is stacked. Every character I feel like would translate very well into a fighting game. Not only that, it is one of the big 3, making it very popular on this side. Same with One Piece. It is almost iconic at this point. The fact that we don't have any Bleach games in 2022 blows my mind. But hopefully with the revival of the anime, we wipe the crust out of our eyes and realize the gem that's been before us this whole time. Please, Arc Systems, give Bleach a game. If any game happens out of this entire list, I want it to be Bleach. It's not number one for a reason, but I would love for Bleach to get a new game because the streets have been dry. We've been needing a new Bleach Systems game. Number 2, if you know me, you knew this anime was gonna make it into this list some way, somehow. And that is why number 2 is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I know what you're saying, when? But we're getting a JoJo's game in September. That's not a 2D fighter and it's not made by Arc Systems, so I want another one. And I know you're gonna say when, but you already got a JoJo's game. What could you do to this JoJo's Arc System game that would be different enough from the one that's coming out for PlayStation, the Battle All-Star R or whatever? Guys, a JoJo's 3v3 fighter. I know, crazy, but think about it. JoJo's has a crazy big roster and you already know everybody's fighting on that roster, so why not do a 3v3 fighter similar to Dragon Ball Fighters with the JoJo cast? I don't know, seems like a money maker if you ask me. The new JoJo's games already implemented assists into the game, so having a 3v3 fighter, I don't know, it just seems like the next step. It seems like the right move. JoJo's has had a 2D fighter before. I believe it was in the 90s. I'll try to find footage of it and show you guys, but it looked really well, but I didn't get a chance to play it. That's why I want a new one. Please and thank you. We need the JoJo's 2D fighter. We need the 3v3. I don't even like 3v3 fighters, to be completely frank with you, but I'll play a JoJo's 3v3 fighter or even a 2v2. Hey, Arc Systems, call me up. I have ideas. Before we move on to number 1, we have a few honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is Fire Force. I feel like when Fire Force was being created, it was kind of being created as a fighting game because I feel like a lot of the powers would translate very well to a fighter. The reason it didn't make it on this list, it's not that popular, really, compared to all the other games on this list, but it is an amazing anime that has really beautiful scenes, and the character powers would work very well into a fighter. So if this game became a fighter, I wouldn't be too upset. Second honorable mention is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Amazing anime, one of the best animes. Really diverse cast of characters that would make the game very interesting. And the only downside is that it's pretty old, so I couldn't imagine them bringing it back for a fighter. I would love to see it and I would definitely play it, but that's the only downside. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood though, amazing. And the last honorable mention will have to be Seven Deadly Sins. Say what you will about the state of the anime, is I have some very hot takes, but it has a very interesting cast of characters. And I think that it is popular enough because of it being on Netflix and whatnot, that it could possibly see a fighting game. Would I be super excited for it? Maybe. I would just like to see the game. The characters are interesting though, and the powers are very interesting. So it would be really cool to see Arc Systems work with them, you know? And the last game on this list, the number 1 game I think really would benefit from the Arc Systems treatment, a game that I think everybody would really play, would be an Arc Systems fighter of My Hero Academia. Say what you will about the anime or the fandom or whatever, but you cannot sit here and deny and act like that anime isn't super popular on this side. And say what you will about the anime, but you also cannot act like that game wouldn't be a really good fighter. That cast is super diverse, amazingly diverse. The moves are flashy. There are ranged characters, there are bruisers. There's so much you can do with that franchise in a fighter that I'm surprised we haven't had an Arc Systems game for it yet. All we've had is arena fighters, and let's face it, they just don't hit the same as a 2D fighter. I would play that game day 1. I don't know who I would main. It would probably be Sugar Rush because I feel like they'd make Sugar Rush a grappler, but that's neither here nor there. But that's it for me, guys. Let me know in the comment section who you would like to see get the Arc Systems treatment. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would think Demon Slayer would be a good game. I would also agree that I think that they would get some really good love from Arc Systems. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe for more video game content. But there's actually, I guess there's anime content, so video game anime content. And make sure you stick around for all the awesome things that we have coming up. Please hit that sub button if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys next time. Otaku out.